In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college football games happening on September 20th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Boise State versus Air Force. Boise State travels to Air Force Saturday in a key Mountain West showdown, and while the Falcons' run-heavy option offense always presents tricky matchups, the Broncos look like the more complete team entering this one. Air Force showed serious cracks in their loss to Utah State. They allowed nearly 470 yards of offense, turned the ball over 3 times, struggled on third downs, and their pass defense looked shaky. Boise State, by contrast, has more balance. Their offense can run and pass, and with Maddox Madsen distributing to reliable receivers plus strong backs in their stable, they have enough explosiveness to punish a vulnerable secondary. History also leans toward Boise, as they've dominated this rivalry in recent years. The Broncos' defensive front should be able to disrupt Air Force's option looks, and if the Falcons fall behind the sticks, their passing game is unlikely to bail them out. Boise's defensive line has been disruptive through the first few weeks of the season, and their red zone efficiency gives them a big advantage in turning possessions into points. Air Force can grind and slow the tempo, but this is the one matchup where their size disadvantage up front really stands out. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boise State Broncos to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. On the total, there's a good case for the over. Boise's offense tends to score quickly and efficiently once it gets rolling, while Air Force has shown it can still generate points with its run game even when trailing. Both teams are capable of explosive plays, and with Boise's red zone efficiency and Air Force's knack for finding ways to move the chains, possessions should produce scoring chances. The projected total sits at 51.5 points, and given Boise's scoring potential combined with Air Force's ability to contribute on the ground, this matchup has the makings of a game that sneaks over the number. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington versus Washington State. Washington and Washington State meet Saturday in Week 4 for the Apple Cup in a rivalry that means a lot more than the records this season. Washington is 2-0, having beaten Colorado State and UC Davis, while Wazoo is 2-1, with wins over Idaho and San Diego State before suffering a brutal 59-10 loss at North Texas. That padding of a non-conference win for Washington State is now looking smaller, especially considering how badly things unraveled in that loss. Multiple turnovers, breakdowns in pass protection, and a defense that couldn't stand up. Jonah Coleman has been a playmaker for Washington, carrying the load at running back and finding the end zone often. He's averaging over 7 yards per carry and already has 7 rushing touchdowns. Washington's offense overall looks competent and balanced, and they've sustained drives without too many self-inflicted wounds. On the other side, Washington State's quarterback, Jackson Potter, had a rough outing against North Texas, throwing interceptions and repeatedly putting the offense in bad spots. The Cougars also became sloppy with the ball, and that kind of mistake gets magnified on the road against a team like Washington that is disciplined in front of their home crowd. All that points toward Washington being the more trustworthy side. I expect them to cover the spread, not just win, but win with authority, in what feels like the kind of spot where they'll take no chances. As our first pick for this matchup, the Washington Huskies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. If Washington State falls behind early, they'll have to abandon their running game and try to keep up through the air, which usually leads to mistakes, quick drives, and scoring swings. Washington has enough offensive firepower to exploit those situations, especially with Coleman setting tempo, and Washington State's defense clearly vulnerable. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Indiana versus Illinois. Illinois and Indiana meet Saturday in Week 4 college football action at Bloomington, and this one looks like a live wager. Both teams enter 3-0, with Illinois coming off a strong performance against Duke on the road, where Luke Altmaier threw for 296 yards and 3 touchdowns. Indiana has also looked good in non-conference play with dominant wins, but they haven't yet been tested like this. Illinois is battle-tested so far and has shown it can score and defend in big moments. Illinois' offense has been clicking. They've posted 2 road wins already, and their ability to move the ball and finish drives has improved under Brett Bielema. Their secondary has had some moments, and while not perfect, they've held firm enough to give the offense a chance. Indiana, for its part, is solid but vulnerable, particularly when it comes to dealing with pressure on the quarterback and defending explosive plays. Losing Lee Beebe Jr. for the season doesn't help their depth, especially in the run game, which could shift more of the load to their passing attack. Given all of that, I lean Illinois to cover the spread. They're the underdog, but not by much, and the way they've played makes me think they'll stay close enough, possibly even steal one if Indiana makes mistakes. As our first pick for this matchup, the Illinois Fighting Illini to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. With both teams having defenses that have shown strength and the likelihood of this game being tight, I expect a lower scoring game than some expect. There will probably be drives that stall, more punts, and maybe a couple of turnovers that kill momentum. Tight Big Ten games often lean under when both teams are evenly matched and stakes are high. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Florida versus Miami. Florida. Billy Napier's seat is getting hot again in Gainesville as the Gators dropped to 1-2 after a rough showing at LSU. Florida's defense held up well, but DJ Lagway's struggles were glaring. 5 interceptions in that game exposed his decision-making, and there's growing concern about whether he can bounce back in major moments. This week brings another true road test at in-state rival Miami, who just demolished the same USF team that beat Florida earlier. The stage is set, and Florida looks vulnerable. Miami's offense has been clicking. They're efficient through the air, powerful in the run game, and their skill position players are making plays. Meanwhile, Florida has not shown the ability yet to stop explosive plays downfield, and their penalties and turnovers have already hurt them more than once. For a quarterback under pressure like Lagway, Miami's pass rush and secondary could make things very uncomfortable. The heroics needed for Florida to stay close are mounting. This is a must-win spot for Florida, but with everything leaning Miami's way, momentum, home field, cleaner execution, I'm expecting the Hurricanes to put on a convincing performance. They'll be favored, and I think they deliver, covering the spread and owning this kind of night. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami-Florida Hurricanes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Given the turnovers likely to come, the offense on both sides has enough juice to make this more than a defensive slog. Miami should score early and often. Florida will try to answer, but mistakes may slow them down. Once the game opens up in the second half, I expect points, especially if Florida is playing catch-up. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. USC versus Michigan State. The Michigan State Spartans and USC Trojans meet Saturday at the Coliseum, and though both teams are 3-0, this feels like a spot where USC can flex. Michigan State has shown physicality in the trenches, but against high-powered passing attacks, they've looked vulnerable. USC, meanwhile, enters off some big wins and looks like the more explosive team overall, especially through the air. USC has covered 5 of its last 6 games when favored by 14 or more, and 2 of their 3 wins this season have come by huge margins. Their offense has been humming, especially with Jaden Maiava at quarterback, who has thrown for nearly 1,000 yards so far this season without throwing an interception. Michigan State's pass defense has been among the weaker units nationally, which sets up poorly for them in this spot. I'm not overly impressed with Michigan State so far. Wins have come, but they haven't been dominant, and their ability to close out games is still in question. USC has the weapons, the home crowd, and the offensive balance to take control. Given all this, I expect USC to win comfortably and cover the spread this weekend. As our first pick for this matchup, the USC Trojans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. If there's room for the scoring to be higher than some expect, it's because USC tends to pull away in the second half when the opponent can't keep up in the passing game. Michigan State may try to slow things down on the ground, but I doubt they can avoid some big pass plays. As the Trojans extend drives and pressure builds, USC should find scoring chances. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.